are here at AutoNation Honda in Sanford, Florida, where they have been nice enough to grant us access to the 2025 Honda CR-V. What we're going to do is provide you with that vehicle review showing you how to service this vehicle at the roadside using the recommended methods in which it's been published not only in their owner's manual. So let's get started. Right now we have the Honda CR-V 2025. It's an all-wheel drive hybrid. In this vehicle, just like the gasoline powered vehicle and the electric powered vehicle, you can do the same services. However, there is a difference between the gasoline powered vehicle and the hybrid when it comes to tire service, which we'll get into later. As you can see at the front of the vehicle, it has a pretty good stance, high enough off the ground where we're not really too concerned with vehicle clearance as far as loading onto a car carrier bed or using a wheel lift to load it. If you look at the front, there's no spots for a eye bolt. That's because underneath the front of the vehicle, right here and over here, they have provided you with attachment points that you can put a mini J, or you can put a grab hook or continuous loop through and bring it back to the center, just like a bridle. Plenty of clearance to work with it, and it's easily spotted. As we work around to the side of the vehicle, this vehicle comes with some pretty hefty looking tires. As we can see, it comes with 235s in the width. It comes with 60 of the tire height and a 18-inch wheel diameter. Now, why is that important? Why are we quoting out all those numbers? That's because we need to think ahead and think about, if this tire were to go flat, how much clearance are we going to lose in the front or in the rear of this vehicle? If this tire were to go flat, you would probably lose about 2 to 3 inches worth of clearance. So keep that in mind if you're running into a flat, because this vehicle, as you will see, might pose an extra problem. Now, as we stay with the side of the vehicle, you can see we have plenty of clearance underneath, and a good time to point out on the side of the vehicle, on both sides, you have the jack points that are recommended. Right underneath behind the front tire, and right underneath in front of the rear tire. It looked, instead of it just being a pinch weld, they've actually reinforced those traditional pinch weld locations so you can actually set it onto a floor jack and jack it up. However, if you're up north where you're in the salt belt, you still want to use caution using those spots, but they have beefed up those locations. Now, as we work our way back for the vehicle to be refueled, we have a push button style door opening that the vehicle has to be unlocked for that to work. So first make sure that the vehicle is unlocked, and then just push on the right edge to open it up. As we look inside, it is a no cap fuel system, so we know what that means. We can't just use our fuel can to dispense fuel into this. We need to use the specialized funnel, kind of like a Ford Easy Fuel funnel. If you can get one, get your hands on one and keep it for yourself, that you can use that instead of using the members fuel funnel. A little tip for you, that'll be great because it'll fit in here nicely and allow that door to open. Then you can take your traditional funnel, put it inside that specialized funnel so you don't get any mess on the side of the vehicle. However, to close it back, push, and it's locked. All right, welcome to the back of the vehicle. The reason why we're taking the time to show you the back of the vehicle is because we want to make sure that you can identify some identifiers saying that this is a hybrid vehicle. If you look at the badging on the vehicle, you can see that it shows that as a CR-V. However, if you look underneath it, it clearly states that as a hybrid. And commonly, when you look at these badgings, you will see any kind of electrified vehicle, it will commonly have that blue badging. So whenever you're doing your initial walk around of the vehicle to ensure that you're taking notes of any kind of damages, or you're securing the keys and you're doing your initial walk around, make sure that you are identifying if it is an electric vehicle or some kind of alternative fuel vehicle, because that can make a difference in how we service this. If you look over on the other side, it clearly states sport. But more importantly, if you look at the clearance in the back end, we have plenty of clearance in this back end. And as you can see from the picture that is coming up on the screen right now, underneath right here, we have another attachment point, a place where you can put your grab hook directly into and winch the vehicle up onto the car carrier bed. Now, with this being an all-wheel drive, we want to make sure that we have all drive wheels off the ground. This vehicle does come in a front-wheel drive, and with that front-wheel drive, it is acceptable for this vehicle to go onto a wheel lift. However, if it is an all-wheel drive, as you can already imagine, this vehicle, ideally, they would like it be put on a flatbed. But that is not what they say in the recommendations. They also say that it can be towed on a wheel lift using dollies. Just make sure that all those wheels are up off the ground. They also put a side note into it that if the vehicle's electronic parking brake cannot be released and remain released, they recommend that that goes onto a car carrier so this vehicle doesn't get damaged during a tow. All right, now with the rear of the vehicle, what we want to show you is we're only focusing on this left side because on the right side, there's nothing there for us. Matter of fact, this floorboard that's in the back of this hybrid vehicle is not even able to be lifted up. However, in the gasoline-powered vehicle, you are able to lift this cover, and it's here where you will find a rubber grommet that you can pull and be able to lower the spare that is stored underneath. However, in both these vehicles, you'll see this cover over here on the left-hand side of the interior. It just easily pops off like this. And for the hybrid vehicles, you'll find that you have your inflator kit back here. Now, as we are working around the vehicle here, we want to show you the lockout. Take notice to the plastic that is on the door. Also, take notice to the thickness of this door and the little bit of weather stripping. However, in this recommendation, we can use a long rod or a long reach tool, as some people call it, to be able to unlock this vehicle. Using an air wedge about right here to give yourself enough clearance at the top, using an air wedge, we can then use a long rod to open this door. The way this door is designed, it doesn't have a mechanical release on the door itself. However, when the door is locked, it will have this lock mechanism forward. You can either pull the handle once and it'll open the door, or if you can lock your long rod onto this button and pull it back, you'll be able to open it up. Don't try to use the lock and unlock buttons. It's too hard to depress those, and you're likely to fling your long rod off and cause damage, some case, somehow. But to unlock it, it's just hook this or the handle with a long reach tool and unlock it. All right, you guys, here we are under the hood of this 2025 CR-V. To open the hood, it's a conventional hood release that's located in the driver's kick panel. Pull it once, and then there's a secondary latch underneath the front of the hood. But what we want to point out underneath this hood is the battery location. You see that we have the battery that is in this front driver's side, easily accessible. We have a clear positive that's labeled with the red cap. However, what I do want to draw your attention to on this hybrid model is that orange, brightly colored wiring. Know that it's there. Don't be messing with it. That's a high voltage portion of the hybrid system, as you know. And we don't do any work on that. However, it doesn't stop us from being able to jumpstart this vehicle. With the battery so easily accessible, with the cap able to be lifted off and given us the positive connection, and I'll show you the ground connection in just a moment. All right, you guys, before we get started showing you where the attachment points are on this vehicle, I want to take a moment to take note of the distance between the positive connection and the recommended ground connection. The positive connection is the battery itself on the positive terminal. The ground, just like one of our previous videos where we're talking about hooking up to a Toyota or Lexus hybrid, Honda has done a similar thing where they have put their ground on this side of the engine, and it is located right here. With that said, we want to make sure that we're using the most appropriate piece of equipment. If you're using one of these smaller jump packs, it is quite clear that we can hook to that positive over here, but we may not have the reach that we need to be able to hook our ground. So we need to find an alternate ground. Now, I wouldn't recommend this on any other vehicle, but there is easily a unpainted, clean metal bolt that is away from any of the computers and anything like that, that is up there by the strut tower. So if you're using one of these smaller jump packs, you can hook your positive there, and then you can clamp your ground up here to a strut tower bolt, and that will work. Make sure that you're hooking positive first and then ground second. And when you go to just unhook, remember, this is the gatekeeper, so start with the ground and then end with your positive. However, to use the recommended attachment points for a jump start, you're going to really probably need a larger jump pack, one of the traditional style jump packs. In this style, there's many others out there, but you need these longer jumper cables. So to hook this up, you would hook positive connection there, and then your ground will be hooked to a clean, unpainted metal bolt on the driver front corner of the engine, which you can see right here. So we have our positive going there, our ground going here, and then we can get in and start this vehicle. Remember, disconnecting, ground first, and then your positive. All right, now I'm going to take you inside of this Honda CR-V. As you can see, we have a push button start. If for some reason we need to do a key recognition because the battery of the key fob is too low and it's not being recognized, Honda's recommendation is to take the key fob like this, hold it up to the push to start button, and actually press the start button with this key fob present. Once the vehicle started, you're good to go. Now, you'll notice that in this vehicle, we have our electronic brake. It's hard to see, but there you go. And we also have our shifter. Now, there is a shift interlock override for this vehicle. And what you would do is you would look just beyond the shifter on this back side right here, and there's the cover to remove the shift interlock override cover. You would remove that using a non-marring tool, and then you can press in using like a flathead screwdriver on the release and shift it right into neutral to be able to load it onto a car carrier. If we move over onto this driver's side, you will see that really there's not a whole lot to this side. However, if you excuse the movement, I want to show you this. There's your hood release. Pull one time to release the hood, and also up underneath you'll find your OBD2 connector, so you can hook up your alternate power while you're performing battery service. All right, you guys, that is this quick review of the 2025 Honda CR-V. Remember, there are some subtle differences between the gasoline-powered vehicle model and the hybrid model. The main difference between the two is, one, the hybrid doesn't come with a spare. It comes with an inflator kit. We showed you where the inflator kit is. And also on the gasoline-powered version, we showed you where the tire tools are and where that spare would be located. The second difference key difference is probably how this thing is shifted. And that depends on what grade of model they get. So it may come with a push button shifter. If it comes with the push button shifter, unfortunately, there's not a shift interlock override for that. You will have to skate that vehicle. However, if it does come with the shifter, that shift interlock override is located just forward of that shifter lever, and you can put it easily into neutral for loading and unloading purposes. Now, the final thing is, there is a mechanical key inside the key fob. If you pull on the door handle of the driver's door, you'll see where you can put the key in and unlock the door if this battery was dead, and you can unlock it remotely. Also, if you turn the key, depending on the model, like a hybrid model, you turn the key one way, it'll actually lower the window. You turn the key the other way, and it will unlock the door. But that's all we have now for this 2025 Honda CR-V. Hope this was beneficial to you. Let us know if you like this video and if there's anything else that you would like to see. Other than that, until next time, stay safe out there.